everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I am Nonkululeko Munkwe and I'm back again with another video. Thank you guys so much for the subscription, for the likes, and for watching my videos and for staying until the end. Thank you so much. So today I'm going to be talking about a little story time on how can I put this, how I deal or how I really settled with the idea of rejection and failure, and how all of those rejection and failures in my life turned into something really positive. But before we start, today I attempted to do a cut crease. It was epic failure. Look at that. No, it didn't work. My friend Teresa, if you're watching, girl, I need you. You need to come to my house. We need to set up a date, and you need to teach me how to do a cut crease, girl. Because this one was an epic failure. But anyway, before I just ramble on about, I'm just gonna go ahead and jump right into it. So basically the first time I kind of like experienced rejection was when I was completing my matric. So while I was busy like writing exams and stuff, I decided to write to a couple of companies. I remember I had different email address and postal address for companies. If you were a student and you're looking for a bursary, I wrote to like different companies, like shared my results and all of that, right? I think they did have email address, but I didn't have access to the internet at that time, so that's why I opted for just writing letters and sending it via PO box and stuff. So I remember I wrote to 16 companies in total, because I had applied for two things. I had applied for engineering, and then I had applied for getting into medical school. So both not medical school. I had applied for doing medicine, like I wanted to be a doctor, GP, whatever. So most of the companies like I got were both for medicine, bursaries, and then as well as engineering. So I wrote to a lot of mines, I wrote to the Department of Health, and sadly none of them responded. So that was sort of like my first experience with rejection. None of them said anything, or maybe they wrote back, I didn't, but I didn't get a response on anything basically. So then fast forward, I complete writing my exams, and then after that ESCOM comes along, right? ESCOM comes along. Let me just say a representative of ESCOM or ESCOM comes along, whichever way you want to look at it. So they come along, and they're like, they're looking for black females who want to venture into engineering. And then I'm like, what, maybe I should just park medicine for now and like really just focus on engineering, because I didn't really actually want to burden my parents with like fees and stuff. And as well, I wanted to be comfortable after finishing school. I know that I'd be guaranteed to be placed somewhere, so yeah. So then I thought, okay, ESCOM, this is a great idea. So then I decided to go look for a school and all of that. And that's my second experience of rejection. Like every school that you can think of rejected me, because of my science mark was not like at the level that they wanted. So and I also didn't want to burden my dad with having to pay for like a bridging course and then me just getting into university. I just wanted to shoot straight into it. So most of the universities I got rejected, at the technicons, we called them technicons at that time, so a majority of them were full. So then I got accepted finally at Witbank, Tshwane University of Technology there. That's when I did engineering, right? And then and then after that, unfortunately the ESCOM thing did not work again. So that's rejection number 2. The ESCOM thing did not work, but and then I applied for NSFAS, And then after that, a guy approached me at my school, and he said that, you know what, I came into these bursary forms that I would like you to fill in, you know, because I know that you are doing light current and I'm doing heavy current, and, you know, just try them out and just, you know, just apply. And I thought, oh, okay, another bursary form, you know, another reject, another non-response. I'm like, you know what? But the guy kept persisting and just really like on my case about, did you apply, did you apply, did you apply, did you apply? I'm like, oh my God. But that guy was a godsend, and you'll understand why. So, and then after that, I applied for the bursary at Vodacom, and then I got a call. I was like so shocked, like, wow, these people actually do respond. And I remember I had to fax the forms. It was the day before they closed, and I had to fax the forms. I think they were closing on the 24th of September, yes. And then I faxed those forms on the 24th of September. No, 23rd of September, the day that they were closing, right? Because I was like, okay, you know what? Let me just do it, because the guy's like, let me just take a chance anyway. I know they won't respond. And luckily for me, they did. And then I got a call, and then everything worked out with Vodacom. And, you know, but like still it was taking time for me to actually realize that everything that was unfolding and everything that was happening was just all in God's plan. The fact that I went to Witbank for my first year of university, it was all in God's plan, because that's when I actually got a chance to develop my relationship nicely, you know, with God, and actually understand God, and actually meet like-minded people, and actually work hard to the point that I get a bursary from Vodacom, you know. And it was less burden actually to my parents as well, because the rest there was a bit less. It wasn't so expensive as the Gauteng ones and stuff, so it worked out perfectly. So then, but still I couldn't comprehend, you know, I couldn't really put my head, I was not mature enough to put the dots together that everything was actually working for my good, you know. The fact that I went to Witbank for my first year, it worked for my good. The fact that I got a bursary from Vodacom instead of Eskom, instead of a mine, it worked for my good, because honestly Vodacom were the ones who really set, even though it wasn't planned, you know, it wasn't planned, that I didn't even know that Vodacom was, you know, I was so naive there. When I got a bursary from Vodacom, I thought, okay, what am I gonna do in Vodacom though? Am I gonna fix phones? Am I gonna, like, maybe I'm gonna fix like the because they had like containers where they held the public phones. That's as far as I knew about Vodacom. But I didn't know that there was a whole world of engineering based on telecommunication. I didn't know. And so fast forward, then I changed my stream. I focused on telecommunication. That's when I actually got to understand that there's a whole world of satellites, there's a whole world of sites, there's a whole world of transmit and receive, you know, that your phone, you know, when your phone is sitting there, you know, it's actually communicating with the site and everything, with the base station and everything. I didn't know that there was a whole world to that. So I like how God really paved the way for me to actually be exposed to such a world, because I am really enjoying myself when it comes to the telecommunication industry now. And another thing, Vodacom ended up playing such a huge role in my life, like a huge role in my life. Vodacom played such a huge role in my life. At Vodacom, that's when I got to like really gain like proper and like proper experience when it comes to telecommunication, exposure to the telecommunications industry. That's when I got like proper exposure to like my whole career, basically. Like half of my career, like now, everything was just from Vodacom. And then on top of that, also with the Vodacom bursary, that's when I met my husband as well. when we went to the camp, you know, when all the buses were coming together. That's when I met my husband. So you guys understand how I needed to get rejected by the mines. I needed to get rejected in the medical field. I needed to get rejected, like maybe at UJ or Wits, where I wanted to be. I needed to get those rejections to be where I am today. Okay, let me just try and ignore that now. So oh yeah, as I was saying, that I needed to get rejected by all of those minds. I needed to get rejected by the medicals in the medical field. I needed to get rejected by all of the schools. So for me to actually be in the path where I am today, and I absolutely would not have it another way. The failure that worked in favor for me was I was doing my final year. You know, obviously at that stage you have good relationships, you know, you've got friends, everything is going great. You know, all of you guys are in your third year. You're looking forward now to the working environment. You guys are so excited that you're not school kids anymore and all of that. But unfortunately, I had one subject that I had to repeat. Oh my God, I was absolutely devastated, because the very following year, when all my friends went to do their experimental, we called them experimental learning at that time, because if you were in a university of technology, you get to do the modules, and then when you're done with the modules, they require 1 year of working experience, and then after that you graduate. So all of my friends went to started working, and you know, they got their stipend, you know, life was good, you know, they didn't need to go to class anymore, and here I am failing. All my friends left me at school, but also that was the most, oh my goodness, that failure was something that I needed to do, because God was literally directing my life in a way in which I will forever be grateful. So fine, my friends went to school, and what I did was I repeated that module, and at the same time I decided to become a student assistant, you know, for, I think it was digital systems one, where I would help the students with their theory work, and I would set up test papers for them and all of that. And when it was time for me now to do my experimental experience, God decided that I'm not going to go to where my friends are, but instead I'm going to go start my own life in Nelspruit. I don't know anybody in Nelspruit. I have never been to Nelspruit in my life. I did not know the language there. I was there alone. I didn't know if I would start and say, okay, I'm gonna go home now, which direction I'm gonna go. God decided that, you know what, you are gonna go to Nelspruit. That's where I want you to be. And that was actually the best decision God had made for me, like ever. So it was the best decision for me, because immediately that's when now I started with my telecommunication experience. And on top of that, I was honestly exposed to people who were willing to teach me, the ropes, were willing to teach me how it's done. And you know, the experience that I gained in that environment right now is still, I really use it. And on top of that, in Nelspruit, my then boyfriend, who is now my husband, decided to go there with me. So then our relationship got stronger to a point where we got married. So that's where I benefited as well. So I hope you guys now see and understand that, you know, all the failures and rejections in my life were actually God just directing my life to exactly where my life is supposed to be. Let me just sum it up until today, you know. So today, okay, first let me just reverse. And then when the rejection in Nelspruit happened and everything, when I got to really understand and see how God, oh yes, and then when I got to that environment, when I was done with my experience, with my when I graduated, I was hired permanently immediately. So you see, everything just ended up working in my favor. So then I started to see a pattern, like, no man, I really think that, you know, God has got me here. You know, God has really, really got me. Really, you know, God says in His word that that His plans for our lives are really to just prosper us, and I have seen that 100%. Every rejection, every failure, just ended up prospering me. You know, so yeah, so right now I think I have a very good relationship with failure and rejection. I welcome rejection and failure with open arms, because I know that, you know, that is just God redirecting me. It actually excites me, you know. I'm not gonna sit here and say that, you know, it's nice, or I don't feel a bit of a sting, a bit of a pain when I'm rejected for something that I really wanted, but I always know that it's God just redirecting to my life to where it's supposed to be, you know. So every time I get rejected, maybe from a company or from a job that I've always wanted to work on, I know that, you know what, no, it's God probably fixing something for me, or, you know, firing a bad boss in that company and I'm not supposed to be there yet. You know, it's just God setting up the perfect environment for me so that I can grow. Oh my God, like it's so amazing. But yeah, I hope you guys learned a thing or two. I mean, I can go on and on and on. Okay, let me tell you one story again. So when I was in Nelspruit now, I honestly felt it in my spirit that, you know, I think it's time for me to move on now, to leave this place and to grow. I feel that I've done everything that I needed to do in Nelspruit, and in this particular environment. I felt like I couldn't grow any longer. I felt like my work was becoming a bit of a routine, so I decided that, okay, let me start applying then back to Gauteng or back to another region. But I decided on Gauteng because I felt that it was going to be easier for my husband to join me here, because there's like a lot of work opportunities in Gauteng, obviously, as opposed to maybe Bloemfontein or Limpopo or wherever. So I settled on Gauteng. So when I applied in Gauteng, I applied for a couple of positions and I got a rejection on all of them. And finally there was this other position that I applied for, and I actually realized that, oh my God, this is the exact position that I want. So this this particular environment was so actually these ex-colleagues of mine used to visit in Mpumalanga, and you know, we used to have a meeting where we would share ideas and share strategy, and I just fell in love with their job. I fell in love with what they do. I fell in love with the fact that, you know, they're getting exposed to vendors, they're getting exposed to the business side of things, you know what I'm saying, not like your not like your everyday routine engineering routine environment, but then the business overall, they're getting good exposure to that. And I decided that, you know what, one day I really hope that I work there. But I didn't pray about it, I didn't really pursue it. It kind of like found me after I was rejected for the other initial positions that I thought I wanted, you know. So when I sat in an interview with that at that department that I'm talking about, I just I really enjoyed the interview. Number one, I enjoyed the interview. The manager there was so, oh wow, the manager there was just so amazing, and he's still amazing even today. And then I got hired, and then I realized, wow, this is actually what I wanted. I didn't pray for it out loud. I just wished for it in my heart, and it happened. So really, you know, God is so amazing. God has been so amazing in my life. You know, He doesn't only listen to the prayers that I say out loud, but He really looks at my heart of hearts and dig in there and then find what I truly want and then give it to me, you know, when the time is right, when the time is perfect. So in conclusion, right now, my relationship with rejection and failure, I believe it's absolutely healthy. I don't freak out when I get rejected. I don't freak out when I fail, because I just look back, man, in the past and see that everything, absolutely everything, has worked together for my good. And it's just so amazing to see God moving at all times. Okay, yeah, I think 20 minutes is up. That is all I have. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope, you know, through this video you also have a healthy relationship with rejection and failure, and just know that it's gonna work together for your good, no matter how horrible or bad it seems at that time, but it always works together for your good. It always comes together, and you understand that, wow, actually I needed that rejection, I needed that failure, because now I am where I am supposed to be. That is it from me, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, though. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and keep safe, guys. You know, the coronavirus is really doing the things out there, so just keep safe. Try to keep yourself as safe as possible. Try to stay home as much as possible, and I love you guys so much. I will see you next time. Bye.